Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County special meeting of April 27th, 2020. We'd like to do a roll call of the board members first. Molly, will you take the roll?
Yes. Miss Allen,
Present.
Miss Clemens,
Here.
Miss Conan,
Here.
Mr. Hendon,
Here.
Mrs. Lamacchia,
Here.
Miss Redden.
Here.
Thank you. We will start first with an overview of our public comment policy. We have received one public comment, so I will go through the policy quickly first. The Board of Trustees of the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County welcomes public input to its deliberations. The board first recognizes both the importance of public comment on issues before the board and the ability of members of the community to express their views on matters of interest to the library. We do have a full public participation policy, which includes a general 3-minute limit on comments. Please remember that public comments are for us to listen to you and your fellow community members. It is unlikely we will make any remarks immediately since we need a chance to reflect on your comments, research subjects, and of course, consider any relevant legal codes and issues. We will set an alarm and cease reading at 3 minutes. The public comment that we have received is from Pat Vance. I will begin reading that, and Paula, if you will hit the timer for 3 minutes, please. My name is Pat Lance, and I am the library's former facilities manager. Without any due process, I've been banned from the library and threatened with arrest if I violate this ban. This ban was the culmination of a publicly funded smear campaign launched against me by your former director, Kim Fender. Sadly, your current director, Paula Bramhager, has participated in this campaign by sending out at least one memo, possibly more, warning staff to call security if I come to any branch. The fact that I could be handcuffed and arrested in front of my 6-year-old daughter if I took her to the library was of no concern to Ms. Bramhager, who lacked the courage to stand up to Fender when the ban was initiated. To this day, Bramhager has chosen to keep this ban in place. I have hired the best First Amendment attorneys in the country, and they have confirmed Bramhager's email was nothing more than an out defamation, and that the ban is, of course, illegal. They have also confirmed that the way the library allowed Fender to use public resources to perpetuate a personal vendetta against me was also illegal. I reached out to the library quietly a couple weeks ago to resolve all of this once and for all, but no one responded other than to say my email was received. Therefore, I'd like to make my comments today as public as possible, and I appreciate the offer the library has made to read them until 3 minutes is reached. I will restate how we got here. When I was an employee, the foundation director, Missy Dieters, wanted me to sign an agreement to do business with one of her relatives, Kathy Dieters, at a company called Energy Alliances. Molly DeFosse warned me in an email that the situation was highly political and not to get involved. I agreed with her and I refused. Fender, who was receiving payments from the foundation to supplement her salary, got angry and signed it without me. This agreement with Energy Alliances then went to legal review, which was handled by Missy's husband at the time, Joe Dieters. Sorry. After Joe Dieters approved it, he sent it back to the library, specifically Robert Hendon, with Missy Dieters' father. Hendon refused to recuse himself and proceeded to vote on this agreement. Joe Dieters has refused.
Monica, that is
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Thank you, Paula. That is the end of our public comment period. At this time, I would like to move for executive session.
Second, Betsy.
Okay. Ryan, I think if you move us into
Let
executive.
Paula, can I
yeah.
go ahead and do a roll
Oh,
call?
of course. I'm sorry.
I just want to note that we are going to go into executive session in accordance with ORC 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employees. Ms. Allen,
Present.
Ms. Clemens,
Present.
Ms. Conan,
Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Aye. Yes.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Yes.
Ms. Redden.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back. Ms. Clemens? I think you're on mute, Karen.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm here.
okay. And I think a motion to come out of,
I move that we come out of executive session. I'm sorry. It's a delay with me, Paula.
that's okay.
I need a second.
I second. It's Monica Conan.
Okay. Ms. Allen,
Present.
Ms. Clemens,
I agree.
Present.
Ms. Conan,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
You're present.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Here.
Ms. Redden.
Yes.
So I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Nadine Allen in connection
Okay.
with the Human Resources Report. Nadine?
Yes. The Human Resources Committee, Nadine Allen Chair, Karen Clemens, and Betsy Lamakia are also members. And I'll now read the RE. This is the Human Resources items regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and budget background information, planning for recovery. Facing the unprecedented challenge of the coronavirus pandemic requires difficult decisions. The library must address immediate, urgent needs, consider human impact, and support our long-term vision for our organizations and our community's recovery. The senior leadership team began our planning during this time by agreeing on the following guiding principles. We must focus on the needs of our community members, demonstrate our care for staff, and be transparent in our actions. Be vigilant in ensuring service sustainability, using data to inform decisions that provide for budget savings now to safeguard a return to robust service when conditions allow. Be poised to implement recovery and service restoration in a safe, agile, and intentional manner. Balance stewardship with savings across multiple budget areas to ensure impact is strategic and reasonable for both near and long-term needs, emphasizing what is essential now and positioning ourselves to adapt to what will be essential in the future. Recognize the unprecedented challenge we face and also remain focused on the future. While the governor's stay-at-home order and physical distancing recommendations may not be enforced to the same degree during May and beyond as they have been for the past several weeks, it is clear that the coronavirus pandemic will change our operations for the foreseeable future. We will continue to work toward creating a balance between providing essential services for our community and maintaining practices designed to help keep our staff and customers safe and healthy. Our recovery plan is tiered to allow for intentional, thoughtful restoration for services in a manner that capitalizes on opportunity and provides flexibility for adjusting as safety and health needs require. Economic impact. We have carefully reviewed the current economic outlook as well as recent actions taken by a variety of governmental units and similarly sized libraries in the state. The exact funding loss for our library during the remainder of 2020 is an unknown at this moment, with projections ranging from $8 to $12 million, a projection that represents a 20 to 30% reduction of public library funding and approximately 10 to 15% of the budget overall. We also know that there is considerable concern about the economic impact of the pandemic on state and local tax revenues, most notably the likely significant reduction in the PLF, both for the remaining months of 2020 and as the state's biannual budget is developed in 2021. Approximately 51% of our library's revenues come from the PLF, with an additional 48% coming from local tax revenues. The remainder come from other sources such as gift funds and fees. In addition to a sizable reduction in the PLF, we also anticipate notable reductions in other revenue areas as well. Addressing this anticipated shortfall is no small matter, and a variety of budget savings are necessary. Time-sensitive support. Opportunities to have staff use unique and limited time support of the unemployment funds provided by the CARES legislation weighed heavily in determination of the planning. Due to its limited availability, we must act with immediacy and urgency for the benefit of both staff and the organization's long-term financial health. While other budget savings are needed, are being identified and will be addressed in the coming weeks, the time-sensitive nature of the CARES Act led us to prioritize staffing decisions. We deeply value the work of all our staff, as does the community. However, with typical in-person library services unavailable for the foreseeable future, and with the CARES Act only available for a short time, we must face the brutal facts of our fiscal situation and our need to reduce spending to address a significant budget shortfall. At the same time, we must acknowledge the fact that many staff members cannot perform the full scope of their important duties, such as in-person customer service in a safe and practical manner, and likely may not be able to do so for several weeks and potentially several months. While the library has a reduction in workforce policy, because of the unique and unprecedented situation we are currently experiencing, a different plan of action is needed to navigate the needs of our staff members and the library system through this time. Our path forward. We value our staff as members of our organization and of the community, yet we must also address critical and urgent needs. To that end, we have outlined a plan that addresses budgetary needs in a way that enables us to care for staff to the best of our ability during these unprecedented times. This decision was not taken lightly and occurred after careful research and deliberation. The plan for staffing levels and hours is as follows. Furlough of the 106 staff members who maintain a 12 hours per week schedule as of May 3rd, 2020. Reduction of hours for 435 non-exempt staff in grades 1 through 6 to 25% of their regularly scheduled hours as of May 3rd, 2020. At this time, we are not proposing a furlough or reduction of hours for staff in grades 7 and above. While these are not easy decisions, such actions enable the library to maintain a relationship with and a connection to staff when possible. Because the situation is unprecedented, the future is unclear, and we want our library to be focused on and prepared for an effective, successful recovery. Furloughing staff provides us with the flexibility to bring staff back to work quickly when the situation allows. Additionally, retaining staff members at reduced hour employment will ultimately save funds when reactivation of services is implemented. And we have already reduced staff members' compensation for 2020 by 3% as a result of delaying a previously approved merit increase. We believe this temporary reduction in staffing levels will not impact the types and levels of services the library is currently providing to the community while our doors are temporarily closed to the public. The CARES Act enables employees whose hours are being reduced to receive support that is above and beyond what has been available in the past. In Ohio, an employee whose hours are reduced below 50% of scheduled hours qualifies for prorated unemployment support from the Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services, with all amounts and qualification status subject to ODJFS regulations. Additionally, the $600 per week CARES benefit provides through July 31st, 2020 for unemployed workers also applies to employees whose hours are reduced below 50%. The CARES Act is not prorated, meaning workers with reduced hours would be eligible for the full 600 CARES weekly benefit. The CARES Act also provides for reimbursement to the library for 50% of our related expenses for supportive staff members receiving unemployment compensation. Since the library is a reimbursing employer for unemployment, meaning we pay a portion of unemployment costs. This is an important consideration for any decision related to reductions of hours. The following personnel budget reductions and changes will also be put in place as of May 3rd, 2020. A reduction of the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Director's compensation by 15%. A reduction of other senior leadership team members' 2020 compensation ranging from 5 to 10%. Early retirement incentives for eligible staff that doubles the extended annual leave if the decision to retire occurs between the time of this meeting and June 1st, 2020. Additional information. Unemployment benefits provided through the state of Ohio. In Ohio, a furloughed employee can qualify for unemployment benefits. The Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, part of the CARES Act, authorizes unemployment benefits for employees who have had their hours reduced due to COVID-19. The benefits amount will be similar to traditional unemployment benefits plus an additional $600 per week provided through the Federal CARES Act. Currently, to be eligible for unemployment as determined by the state of Ohio, which has authority over unemployment decisions, a person must meet the following criteria: have worked at least 20 weeks, have had an average weekly wage of $269 before taxes or other deductions during the base period from any number of employees. The weekly benefit is the amount the unemployed worker may be entitled to receive for 1 week of total unemployment. It is computed as 1/2 of the worker's average weekly wage during the base period. However, if in no case may the weekly benefit amount exceed the state's annually established maximum level based on the number of allowable dependents claimed. The 2020 maximum for each dependency classification are important considerations for furloughed 12-hour per week staff members. This applies to them. Staff members will have continued access to the Employee Assistance Program. Staff members who return to work after the furlough must ensure their contact information is current in the Paycor system for the purposes of return to work communication. Staff members may not volunteer to perform library work during the furlough. If unemployment is granted by the state, volunteering could jeopardize unemployment benefits. OPERS service credits will not accrue during the furlough. Holidays will not be compensated during the furlough. All Library Foundation, United Way, Community Shares, and Arts Wave employee contributions will be suspended. If a staff member's wages are subject to a garnishment by court decision, the employee must inform the court of their furlough status and any unemployment benefits. Here are important considerations for staff members with reduced hours. The Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services, not the library, determines unemployment eligibility and the weekly benefit amount. All staff members who apply for unemployment and are approved for unemployment benefits will also be eligible to receive an additional $600 per week from the Federal CARES Act. This money is in addition to the state unemployment benefit and is available until July 31st, 2020. State unemployment benefits have been extended to last beyond the normal 26 weeks to December 31st, 2020. The state of Ohio has committed to retroactive payments if initial payments are delayed. The library will continue to pay the full employer benefit contribution for medical and dental premiums until at least July 31st, 2020. Staff members will continue to be responsible for the employee contribution amount for voluntary benefit premiums. Staff members who wish to change any voluntary benefit election are asked to contact Benefits Coordinator Michelle Smith. Staff members may revise or suspend Library Foundation, United Way, Community Shares, or Arts Wave contributions by contacting payroll. Staff members may continue to use their HSAs and FSAs. Staff members may submit changes to HSA contribution amounts in the Benefits Advisor portal and may contact Benefits Coordinator Michelle Smith for changes to FSA contribution amounts. Should an employee's weekly pay not cover their benefit elections, Human Services will be in contact with the employee to review options. Life insurance provided by the library continues for eligible staff members. Staff members will earn service credit for OPERS during a period of reduced hours. Staff members earning at least $673.08 per month will earn full service credit, and staff members earning less will earn partial service credit at a prorated amount determined by OPERS. That's the Ohio Public Employees Retirement System. There will be no loss of previously accrued leave. However, staff members will not accrue new sick time and PTO while working reduced hours. Staff members may use sick time and PTO up to the allotted reduced hours for the week. Staff members and members of their households will have continued access to the Employee Assistance Program. Staff members will be expected to work 25% of their scheduled weekly hours and will log these hours by clocking in and out on Paycor. Staff members may not volunteer to perform library work during the reduced hours period. If unemployment is granted by the state, volunteering could jeopardize unemployment benefits. Holiday pay will be prorated in alignment with the staff member's reduced weekly hours. If a staff member's wages are subject to a garnishment by court decision, the staff member must inform the court of reduced hours and unemployment benefits. Next topic is determination of positions included or excluded in reduced hours. Positions that have core duties and responsibilities that are able to be performed at full capacity on approximately May 1st, 2020, will not have a reduction of hours. Positions that have core duties and responsibility that will not be able to be performed at full capacity on approximately May 1st, 2020, will have a reduction of hours to reflect 25% of normal weekly scheduled hours. These position determinations will be reviewed every 2 weeks and will reflect any new information received, such as announcements from health or government officials, as well as the library's ability to progress through recovery tiers. Positions included in furloughs, a total of 106 staff members, and that is all 12-hour per week grade 1 positions, homework helper aide, shelver. Positions included in reduction of hours, total of 435 staff members. That would be full and part-time grade 1 through 6 positions that have been identified as not having the ability to perform the full scope of their duties and responsibilities during this time. Should I read all these positions for the public?
This will be posted. If you would like to, that's fine. It's a fairly long list, and we will communicate this to staff.
Okay, so have they been advised already, or do I, for the public?
They will
I don't
be.
mind doing it.
Feel free, Nadine. It is fine to read through them very quickly.
Okay, I'm going to read through these positions which are affected by positions that are reduced, affecting 435 staff members. Acquisition specialist, cataloging assistant, copy cataloger, digital services assistant, EBM technician, education and homework support assistant part-time, events and programs assistant, events and programs specialist, fiscal clerk, fiscal specialist, floater, library services assistant, excludes VIC, library services specialist, excludes VIC, line assistant electronic processing, line assistant physical processing, material selection and acquisition assistant, page, resource sharing assistant, resource sharing specialist, senior conservation assistant, senior library services assistant, excludes VIC, serials assistant, shelver, 20, 24, and 40 hours per week, sorter, supply clerk, tech center, maker staff, technician, temporary line assistant, electronic processing, temporary senior library services assistant, truck driver. Positions excluded from reduction of hours, which is a total of 45 staff members, are full and part-time grades 1 through 6 positions with the ability to perform the core duties and responsibilities of their position during this time, and those, I'll list those. Education and homework support assistant full-time, electrician, human services assistant, HVAC technician, library services assistant, VIC, library services specialist, VIC, mail clerk, maintenance technician, entry-level maintenance technician, PC support specialist, public safety specialist, senior library services assistant, tech center makerspace senior technician. Hours of work for staff members excluded in reduction of hours. This is the next category. All staff members who are excluded in the reduction of hours are expected to work their full schedule of hours each week. If scheduled hours are not worked for the week, accrued time off must be used, as library closed time will no longer be available. Staff members who have a need for leave that may meet the qualifications under the Family First Coronavirus Response Act should reach out to HR Manager Michelle Matthews. Budget implications. The reduction in hours and furlough will result in a weekly savings for the library of approximately $167,800. And that includes current weekly wages, OPERS, and taxes is $260,800 total. Reduced hour cost and net unemployment cost. Should I say negative $93,000?
Yep.
Minus
Yep.
$93,000.
That's right.
Net savings per week is $167,800. The net unemployment cost includes a 50% reimbursement from the federal government of reimbursable unemployment benefits included in the CARES Act. In addition, the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe director and senior leadership team are taking pay cuts ranging from 5 to 15%, which will result in additional savings to the library. These reductions, along with additional needed budget savings beyond these staff-focused reductions, will be reviewed by the board at the May 19th, 2020 regular meeting. Requested actions. The following actions are requested regarding staffing. Endorse and support the plan in this document presented by the library's senior leadership team that furloughs 106 staff members and reduces hours for 435 staff members as of May 3rd, 2020. The intention of the plan is to match staffing resources with anticipated demand during the phased reintroduction of library services to the community, generate cost savings to meet the projected budget shortfall that is a result of significant loss in revenue, and minimize the financial impact on staff members as a result of benefits provided under the CARES Act, and to establish the salary of Paula Bremheger, Eva Jane Romaine Coombe, Director, at annual base salary of $202,404.80, and based on the fact that there are 27 pay periods in 20, an annual rate of $210,189.60, which reflects an approximate 15% decrease over her previous base salary. The following actions are requested regarding extended annual leave increase. The reductions to daily life and anticipated changes in the way we live and conduct business as the result of COVID-19 are challenging for all of us. In addition to this, and in consideration of longer served staff members and those considered high risk of contracting the virus, we anticipate some eligible staff members may consider retirement during this time. In most cases, the planning process for them may be quicker than anticipated. The library currently grants extended annual leave to retiring staff members. The retirement policy is attached. Action we request: approval to double the time typically granted under the extended annual leave policy. Approval for part-time staff to be eligible for 1 week of pay for every 5 years of service, up to a maximum of 4 weeks of pay at their current hourly rate and their current scheduled weekly hours. To qualify for the above, staff must be eligible to retire through OPERS and submit their retirement notice between April 27th and June 1st, 2020, with the retirement date no later than September 30th, 2020. This concludes the Human Services report.
This is Betsy Lamaki. I move to accept the report.
Second, Mr. Hendon.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Clemens,
Yes. Aye.
Ms. Conan,
Yes.
Mr. Hendon,
Yes.
Mrs. Lamakia,
Yes.
Ms. Redden,
Yes.
okay? That's all the voting we need.
We don't need a separate motions, or do you think?
Well, I took the whole report together. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay,
All right. At this time, I am going to adjourn the meeting.
do we have a second?
Second.
Mr.
Betsy.
Mr. Hendon seconds.
All right, we don't need a vote on that. We're good.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Thank
I
you.
want to give a hats off to the senior leadership team because this was a fantastic solution and it really does care about the employees of the library and the public.
thank you.
That we're able to do this.
Thank you all for this morning, and our next scheduled meeting is May 19th. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.